Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang glide, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a garden and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sleep like a lot.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And Chapter 70 of Boruto gave us a big moment where Code got his limiters taken off. You all know that by now. However, whereas everyone was super hyped about finally getting to see what Code can eventually do at full power, my immediate reaction was, is this the very moment that Momoshiki spoke of when he told Boruto after bringing him back from death that the time where Boruto would lose everything was finally close to end? Now, it's not crazy to think that the calamity that Momoshiki foresaw in the future was a moment like this, where Code goes on a rampage and takes away things and even people who Boruto loves and cherishes dearly. Right now, the only people who can stop Code are Ada and Daemon, which we know as much from Ada's warning to Code that if he got out of line or continued to fail to capture Kawaki, that she and Daemon would kill him even when his limiters were taken off. But right now, Ada and Daemon have no need to take out Code. Now, Naruto has lost the power of the Nine Tails and Sasuke's lost the power of the rinnegan. Neither of them physically has the power needed to combat Code right now. Konoha's two biggest weapons are Boruto and Kawaki, both who, while very powerful in their own right as Otsutsuki vessels, they lack the experience that Naruto and Sasuke provide in battle, on top of their own power that they possess as Otsutsuki vessels being too low to ever strike down Code. On top of that, Code's main objective is to capture Boruto and feed him to the Ten Tails and capture Kawaki, because Ada's looking to help Kawaki make a Kawaki Jr. Realistically speaking, since Momoshiki said soon when he was speaking to Boruto, and because he said it would be a grand spectacle, Code makes the most sense. Just look at Code's hit list of people he wants to destroy. At the top of that list is Boruto's own father, Naruto Uzumaki, the person who whipped out Baryon mode and turned the tide in battle in the fight that ultimately killed Ishiki Otsutsuki, who Code had worshipped. The next person on that list is Boruto Sensei, Sasuke Uchiha, who played a key role in taking down Ishiki, at least when he wasn't getting turned into Ishiki's own personal surfboard. But Sasuke's ninja tech smoke bomb that blocks ocular powers at least blinded Ishiki's vision long enough to help Kawaki escape. Shikamaru has now been added to that list, and Shikamaru is the father of one of Boruto's closest and oldest friends in the form of Shikadai Nara. Removing either of those people is going to cause Boruto a great deal of pain, to the point where it's going to shake him down to his very core. For instance, if Code kills Naruto, then Boruto loses the father who he deeply loves, the father who chose Boruto's own life over the Hokage position by refusing to kill him in Boruto episode 220, and he loses the father who he made amends with following the Momoshiki battle, and he would be losing his father when their relationship hasn't been stronger than it is right now, with there being an equal amount of love and respect between the two. Understanding on Boruto's end that Boruto needs to be more understanding as a son that accepts that his father's Hokage has other priorities, and Naruto understanding that he is a father needs to be there more and put in more effort to be with his family more. Losing Naruto right now after they come so far would cause Boruto to be shaken harder than Naruto was when he learned that Jiraiya died, especially when Boruto has to see Himawari and Hinata crying at Naruto's grave. If Code kills Sasuke, Boruto is going to lose his sensei and the person who he looks up to more than his own father. He loses the very person who Boruto aspires to be like. Losing Sasuke means that the moments that we got in the Sasuke Shinden the Teacher Star Pupil novel, which I've covered from start to finish here on this channel, the moments where Sasuke trained Boruto, spoke to him about what it means to be a ninja, and had those one-on-one chats with him about the journey of a ninja and what Sasuke envisions the ninja of the future is going to look like, those moments aren't going to happen anymore. The pain of seeing Sakura and Sarada crying when they realize that Sasuke's permanently going to be away from home is gonna wreck Boruto, especially if it's his own fault. The same with seeing the agony of Shikamaru's death affect his close friend Shikadai. For someone as sensitive as Boruto, that's gonna hit home a lot harder, and he's gonna feel some guilt for it, because after all, he was the one who said that they needed to take Kawaki to Naruto. Everything from that moment onward, where Naruto met Kawaki, everything changed, and some would argue that it did not change for the better. Now, you might be wondering though, how much stock can we put into Momoshiki's quote ability to see into the future? Well, in my opinion, if you read the manga closely, I think you can put a lot of stock into it. Momoshiki looked right at Naruto and he told him you will never be able to pass on the power inside of him, and he pretty much smirked as he said so. It gave the impression that he knew something about Naruto that Naruto didn't know himself. The reason why this is so huge is that in the timeline, we were still well over a year before Naruto had to use Baryon mode and sacrifice Kurama in the process. At the time, no one knew what Baryon mode was, including Naruto. However, at that point in time, anyone who stopped for 2 seconds to think about it would have seemingly debunked Momoshiki's claim very easily and called it a plot hole. Naruto can't, quote, pass on the power inside of him, end quote. Obviously a reference to the Nine Tails, except at the time, people were saying, hey, he can. The same way that Boruto Uzumaki had extracted the Nine Tails from her and had it sealed into Kushina, Naruto, when the time came, could have done the same with, say, Saruto, the future love child of Boruto and Sarada. At the time, it didn't make any sense to anybody, but now it proves that Momoshiki wasn't all talk, which means that when he says that Boruto will be losing everything soon, which soon probably refers to story events, Boruto is going to be in for a lot of heartbreak of epic proportions, faster than Dinky signed up for Ada's OnlyFans account. The only question now is how large of a scale is this loss that Boruto is about to suffer? Is Code going to pull up to Konoha and just wipe it off the map, forcing the village to rebuild itself yet again in the wake of another destruction? Is Code going to kill all of Boruto's loved ones as a way to potentially lure him out? Is losing everyone in reference to losing somebody like Sasuke, who is literally the path that Boruto's ninja journey is chasing after? For the longest time, I thought Momoshiki's words might be in reference to Boruto losing his way, in the sense that life smacked Boruto pretty hard and his motivating factors left him a shell of himself that needed to be filled back up. However, given where we are currently in the story and the fact that Code is now at a point where he as a villain needs to do something major to establish himself as a major threat, and Code has reached this point so quickly after Momoshiki warned Boruto that the prophesized moment was close at hand, this is now a do or die situation for Boruto and Code as characters. For Boruto, how he bounces back from this adversity is going to be crucial to his character, because it will fully break the shell that was formed around Boruto as he was being spoiled and coddled when he was growing up. This aspect of the ninja world where he suffers real loss is going to determine how strong his will is going to be in the future. It's one thing to see somebody like Mujino, who Boruto knew and respected, die during a mission. It's a risk that Boruto knows to a certain extent all ninja take on when they take on a mission, but losing someone who is entrenched that deeply down into his heart, like a sensei or a parent or somebody else of that magnitude, is gonna shake Boruto to his core. For Code, it's a much needed establishment to make him feel like a serious threat. We know Code's strong, nobody denies that, but being strong alone doesn't make you a good threat or a good villain. It's what you do with your strength that matters more for the character. For Code, he's at a moment that Pain was at right after Sasuke fought Deidara. When it was revealed that Pain was just a puppet being controlled by, quote, Toby at the time, when the chapters came out, it lowered his stock a bit. While we all knew that he was strong, since he was the person strong enough to be who we presumed for almost 160 chapters to be the leader of the Akatsuki, just relying off of that alone wasn't enough, and Kishimoto knew that as a writer, which is why Jiraiya promptly fell against Pain. Multiple people in the village were killed off by Pain. Key points of infrastructure in Konoha were destroyed. Kakashi got killed by Pain, and the village was blown up by Pain. Kishimoto went as far as possible to get Pain over as a villain. raising the stakes so high that at the time you had people on internet forums saying that Kishimoto was ruining his own series because Naruto wasn't strong enough to protect the people he cared for, and now had seemingly had his will broken by pain via this cycle of hatred speech. I'm not saying Code has to do all of that. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying just as Kishimoto rolled out a lot of big moments for Pain that changed the perception of his character and made him feel more sinister and made him feel like a true threat beyond that of just being sheer power, Pain had a whole aura about him. Code is in need of that level of writing, and tying him into being the harbinger of Momoshiki's prophecy is what's going to work the best here, because it's going to leave a series shifting impact. However, I want to know from you guys, where do you guys fall on this matter? Does Code need to get more done to establish himself as a memorable villain? You tell me down in the comment section, and if you're interested in the deeper writing methods of Masashi Kishimoto's character, you want to watch these videos that you see on the screen now.